But no, bro, the thing I was thinking about is because this is the funny thing, right? So first off, congrats on like 20K, because I saw you had just hit that not too long ago. I think I hit it like maybe a few weeks ago. So it was like dope to see that, because I remember when we did our first interview, we probably was like mid-10s or some shit like that. So it's been some growth, right? But the thing that I was noticing is, and granted, I know we do different types of content. I kind of focus more on gameplay and talking about gameplay stuff, but you kind of like cover a large range of topics. What I've noticed is lately, as you've covered a larger range, you're getting a lot more hate lately. And some of the hate could just be irrational. So I'm wondering, do you feel as though the hate is changing in frequency based on your channel size?
In comparison to the amount of love that I get, it's very minuscule, but I've definitely seen it pick up. But I mean, the good thing is that the majority of the people that have sent hate my way, they can barely tie their shoelaces. So for me, it's like I'm open to criticism, and that's why I've always like championed having random people on, because I never know what someone's going to say to me. And I very much enjoy the community aspect more than the gaming, which is why I focus more on the people than the games. But the stuff recently, I mean, the whole stuff with Skylar and Reborn, the people that were posting that stuff up, they're all stupid, and I'll be happy to tell them all to their face that they're stupid, because they just lied. The thing is that because you do content creation, you understand that if there's a topic, there might be certain branching topics from it as well. And a good example of this is if you go to any wrestling channel, they have like the first opening part relates to the thumbnail. So like, for example, I watched a video about Goldberg's return the other day, and the first 5 minutes was him covering if Goldberg could win the world title, what could happen. And then there's only so much you can talk about someone's return. But then he started to talk about other possibilities. If Goldberg was to win, what would happen over here? What could happen to this title, this, that, and the other. But these dumbasses on Twitter don't understand that you can't have a thumbnail that has every single talking point in it, because it looks like a mess. And you can't have a video title that has every single talking point in it, because YouTube only limits it to 100 characters or 120 or something. And nobody wants to read an essay in the title. They kind of want the point, and then they'll watch the video. And one thing I know as doing content now is that you look at your watch time to see, do people really care about what I had to say? And the watch time on my videos is very high. And a lot of the time when I read comments, it's people talking about the entirety of the video. So these people online that are going, stop making content, who are you making this for? I'm looking at the views on my video, I'm looking at my live streams and the interactions, and I'm like, well, there's a lot of people here that enjoy what's going on, and we enjoy the community aspect. So if you don't like it, that's fine. I'm not trying to be everyone's friend, and I'm not trying to make content for everyone. But some of the hate that I've received, even one just now, Finty just sent me one about some guy. He was just crashing out completely. He was saying we need to get rid of Mike Hollow. He accused me of being on heroin. I was like, wow. I mean, bro, do you want to see the? Actually, do you know what? I'll show you the messages in private. I don't know if Finty's happy to post them, but yeah, he was just going mad. I've had a couple of death threats here and there, but you know these things are gonna happen the more you talk.
See, but that's kind of the thing I was saying, because like the way you was breaking down the logic of, like front loading the title and like covering the main topic, or at least the initial topic in the thumbnail, I would beg to say that the average person does understand. And that's kind of like what made me send you that message about, I don't think it's about the message. I think it's about the messenger, because it was like, I feel like my stances are fairly consistent. Of course, when you get a little more notoriety, maybe you bump into somebody with a bigger name. So like, obviously we both then had like a back and forth with Sonic about certain stuff. But I didn't really get as much attention about certain things I said in the past, and I really haven't changed much of what I said. It's just that now that I have a larger audience, I feel like it's just fuck you because it's you. Because it'll be like I'm sure you've tried this before. Like somebody will say something, and you'll initially think that they're making a point, so you'll dispute said point, right? And then the point will go from just an insult directly towards you. So it's not really about the point that's being disputed. It's just about fuck Mike for saying it type of thing. And I like when I was like 5,000 subs, 10,000 subs, those memory milestones come up on social media. I didn't get that type of stuff in the past. And I feel like, this is only going to grow the more your channel grows. Like this is going to happen more and more. But it's just weird that people expect that like that's supposed to be the norm. Like you got to just accept that.
Yeah, I kind of understood, having watched people. Like I was watching you before I started doing my content creation stuff as well. So I could kind of see where things were going to go. and I know that I'm a very opinionated person, and I stand on my principles and my morals, and that's gonna bother people. And the only thing I can say to those people is sorry. Like I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm having fun. There's a lot of people and a lot of connections that I've made, and like I said, I'm open to criticism. I just don't like it when people are outright lying. And what they've been doing on Twitter lately actually ended up backfiring on them, because I saw that and I was looking at it and I was like, damn, I'm going to get dogpiled. But it's okay. I'll go to bed. It's fine. It's Twitter. Not a problem. I woke up in the morning to loads of messages from people saying I wasn't expecting this video to be much of anything because I saw it on Twitter, but it was a really, really good breakdown. I like how you brought it full circle. And I was reading through all of those comments, and I was like, these guys on Twitter that are lying, they're like doing advertising for me. So I was just like, oh, just leave them to it. Let them say whatever they want to say, because I don't want to attract people that don't have any common sense. I'm trying to foster a community where whether you're left or right leaning, or you're center, or maybe you like a game and I don't, we can still be friends and we can still talk. I'm not interested in having these radical people following me, like trying to make them happy with being one-sided.
For sure. I think what I kind of, it's funny because like I don't know if you ever felt this when you started, like you have like your opinions and stuff, right? But it's like when you first making content and you don't really understand how to build a community, or you're kind of like learning on the fly like early on, and you don't know how big your channel is going to be, you kind of get this feeling that you want to not be known as the toxic person. That was kind of like a thing when I started. It was like, I don't want to be known as toxic, but I want to be me. And I'm not necessarily saying that I am naturally toxic, but at the same time, I realized over time that people are going to just find something to say regardless, right? So you would just be better off saying what you truly think. And then the second part of that as well is that the thing that you said about like people promoting for you, ironically, your haters kind of show up more. Like it's a thing where the people that love you support you, so you find that you have built a community where you've had some positive influence. But the people that don't like you, they show up consistently. They show up to not like you constantly. It's a weird thing. So it's like, in a way, I'd be like, I think you low-key kind of do like me, but it's like, you already picked this like side of the fence to be on, so you're standing over there. But why do you keep coming back telling me that I'm not shit? Like, why not just block me?
I've actually had the opposite experience. I would say that my community have like really shown up for me. The people that really like me, and the people that don't like me will come to a live stream, and I'll just say, get on the live call, let's have a discussion. And then they realize that they don't even know why they hate me. They maybe they don't like the fact that I don't like their favorite game, or maybe they misread something. And we have a chat, and 9 times out of 10 it ends pleasantly, and I can kind of like dispel the whole problem, and then we're cool. There's quite a few people in my community where it started off as we didn't like each other, and now we're cool. Every now and then there's a guy that will come along that just wants to fight, and like I've told people 100 times, I'm not trying to be everyone's friend. If someone's being disrespectful just because I said I don't like Tekken Season 2, then I'll be disrespectful back, so yeah. I've been lucky. I've been very lucky, and the people that I've attracted to my channel, they really do show up for me. And I've got a moderator called Alexis, and I'll just randomly get sent something. It's like, look, Alexis is going to war for you in the comment section of some random video. I have no idea what is going on, and then I'll look elsewhere, and like I can see people that follow my channel. Even the stuff that was going on Twitter, I didn't know about it until they sent it over to me. And there was so many people in the comment section like having my back, and I was like, oh, this is really nice, so I've definitely got haters, but I think I've got a lot more positive people around me.
Yeah, I would say it's like a 70-30, 75-25 split. It's just that the haters put like a lot more effort into being loud. And I think like I remember seeing something somewhere before, it was like subconsciously when we see something that's negative about us, it's our defense, like it's a survival instinct to respond to it. It's no different than like a threat like in real life. It's like something like that. So I noticed that it does stand out, but I find myself lately, like I just kind of leave it on red because it's just like, fuck it, like that's just kind of the reality of what it really is.
Yeah, sometimes I leave it on red, and sometimes I'll talk to them.
It depends on mood you in?
Not the mood, it depends on the message they send to me. If it's, I don't know, sometimes it can depend on the mood, because if it's really abusive, but I'm like in a good mood, I'll just like laugh at them and be like, okay, we'll just have fun with this. Sometimes they'll send me, not a hateful message, but like why they don't like my content, and they'll break it down, and I'll sit there and I'll have a chat with them. Sometimes they'll send me crazy messages, like they're really unhinged ones, and I'm like, I'm not going to interact with this person because they might actually be crazy about a video game. Yeah, I got that a few times on MK1, where I got a message saying if I see you at like Comic Con or blah blah blah, it's on site, and I was like, I said to him, why? And he goes, "You always shit on MK1." And I was like, "Is MK1 your wife? What's wrong? Like, it's a game, bro."
Yeah.
And yeah, after a while, he sort of left it. I went to Comic-Con, nothing happened. I was just like, no one's gonna pull up because of a game, because I said that your favorite game sucks. Like, how old are you?
Yeah, I can't see that. Like, people do and say a lot of stupid shit, but I don't really see that realistically happening. But I will say, of all the games I've covered and talked about, and I was gonna ask you the same thing. You just kind of like walked into it. Is Mortal Kombat the most toxic community?
No, actually, it was funny because Melee is undoubtedly the worst. Undoubtedly.
I think I asked you this before in a message or some shit.
Yeah, Melee is undoubtedly the worst because obviously I became friends with Technicals and some other guys that are like on his side of the fence, and I said to them openly, like, if there's anything that I can do to help you guys, because I see the shit that you go through, I'm here. Like, these people don't scare me or anything. And so what I've witnessed on that side, having covered some of the hack situation, you know, because obviously he passed, rest in peace, and Mewtwo King, when they were bullying him, those videos got a ton of traction. So I received less than like favorable messages, I'll say, but I will say that Mortal Kombat's not as bad as Tekken. Tekken is by far worse than Mortal Kombat. When you get under the skin of the Tekken community, they let you know it. And I've obviously gotten under their skin because they're connecting dots. They're seeing me rip on Mortal Kombat, but they don't realize that I used to compete in Mortal Kombat. I won championships. I was on the national team that won. I just don't like the last two games. But for some gamers, like, they can't understand that it's okay to like 10 of the games in the franchise and not like 2. So they got really angry at the fact that they thought I came from Mortal Kombat to Tekken to do the same thing. But I was already playing Tekken with people like King J and Cobra Commander and Lion-O, and these are the best players in the UK. So I just enjoyed both sides of it, and it just so happens that Tekken 8 has come out and people are not happy with it, and I expressed it. But they think I'm here to like ruin the game. Some people have even blamed me for certain things that have happened in the game, or blamed me for Harada like wanting to walk away. And I was like, I don't think I have that kind of influence. So you guys are taking it a bit too far.
Yeah, I get that shit for sure, because I guess, well, I don't know. It's tricky to say because like my name, and I got this weird thing on Tekken where my name on YouTube Tekken doesn't really seem to be like a needle mover, but on TikTok and Facebook they seem to watch me for that shit a lot. So I'm confused about it. I feel like my community was more in MK, but what I felt is that when it comes to MK, of like if I say something that somebody doesn't like, the vitriol is just like harsher there than anywhere else. Like, it's like so much not game based. Where in Tekken it's just like, oh, you're a fucking idiot because you know how to punish this, so you should duck or step that or blah 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 blah. But Mortal Kombat is never about what you should do. It's just like, hey bro, fuck you, like, period. Like, oh, you hate Mortal Kombat 1 because you're trash at it when you were good at MK11. It's like, no, I'm good at Mortal Kombat 1. I just like one-on-one combat more. It feels like Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It is strange, but I've kind of seen that even like right before we were going to hop on for this, I saw that somebody I actually have a fairly solid rapport with commented on some of yours, and you asked me like if they were kind of start something, and I'm like, I wonder if it's just becoming the norm where you feel like people are kind of trying to argue because your channel's just growing. Yeah, like I saw y'all kind of had like a little, and I was shocked because I'm like, the funny thing is I think I get along with everybody for the most part, but I've kind of seen, you know, it's funny watching like some of your favorite guys like bump heads, and you can tell it might be something there, like a little bit of tension. It's always funny to watch from the sideline.
Well, I'll give you a bit of backstory on that. Diff came to my post and he left a comment, which I was like, I saw it. He disagreed with my take. I said to him, oh, you know, it's interesting to see how many people disagree with like each other's takes in Mortal Kombat because the games are so different. So it was cool. It was all blessed. There was no issue. I just said to him that it's interesting reading this because I look at it differently. Tom Brady looks at it differently, and obviously Diff does. Then I'm scrolling and I see my face on his page, and he's got a rude caption about Tom Brady. And just because Tom Brady had a differing opinion to him, he was like, this tier list confirms that Tom Brady is just like a mad old man, or he's too old. And I messaged him, I was like, you're trying to start some shit because Tom's got a different opinion. Diff's not my friend. I nothing Diff. I don't dislike him or like him. He's just a person that's there. I did a video on him a long time ago because I thought that he was exhibiting shillish behavior. But since then, I haven't I don't watch his videos or anything. But I saw that and I was like, why are you starting on Tom? And Tom's my friend. So if I see someone starting him, I'm going to have Tom's back. and he, for no reason, it was just like, yeah, Tom's an old man. He's a silly old man, blah, blah, this, that, and that. I was like, why are you starting some shit? Like, it's just unnecessary. I was pleasant to him, even though he disagreed, and we left it there. And he wants to start, so.
What's funny about you saying it is like, because this is the thing, like, so me and Tom were supposed to get together like maybe a week or two ago. We just had like scheduling conflicts, but like, you know, like when Tom gets into his bag, he'll just rant off some Mortal Kombat knowledge, but like he tends to send voice notes, and he'll send them like at 2 minutes a pop. So he sent me like 3 back to back. The funny thing to me about when people do have disagreements with Tom or try to like say negative things towards him, I don't think I know anybody who knows the Mortal Kombat lore more than me. Like, and I'm not saying that people don't know it as much, but like he just rattles off fucking facts from Mortal Kombat like 4, and it's just like, bro, how are you so it's kind of a thing where like even like when we have our little back and forth about him liking MKX more than MK11 and how MK11 is my favorite, I'm always shocked by how he can just pull up information of like specific tournament specific like things and facts just about, you know, MKX had this issue and then at this timeline at this patch and blah 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 blah. He just knows that shit off the top of his dome to the point where I'm like, at the very least, even if people don't like his opinions, you would have to respect where he's coming from, because he's coming like with a knowledge-based opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, it's different. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he knows Mortal Kombat probably more than anybody I fucking know.
Yeah,
like,
Tom Brady's gets like unnecessary amounts of disrespect from people that wouldn't even be able to tie his shoelaces. Like it's baffling to me how these people will rip into him, even though Tom has done so much for the scene. Obviously, he had that whole situation, and in my opinion, he rectified it because he's given over $20,000 back to the scene, and he helps people in private. The same people that have said things publicly disparaging him, he will help them out financially. And you got these no-face people on Twitter just ripping into him for no reason. And I think we were talking yesterday saying that like there's a whole generation that's been raised by Twitter, and they don't know how to show any respect. And as far as I'm concerned, Tom is probably, in terms of like players and what he's contributed, he's probably one of the most valuable members of the MK community. So I've always got his back. I know he gets a little bit emotional about things, and he's not a very confrontational guy. So when people are coming at him, I don't think he likes it very much, which is why I always say to him, let's just do it on my podcast, because I don't care. Like it will bring them on. They don't have anything of worth to say. Obviously, most of the time they don't come on because, you know, it's easier to chat shit on Twitter behind the keyboard than it is to actually have a conversation with someone. But yeah, Tom deserves all the respect in the world from as a player and just as like a Mortal Kombat enthusiast. He knows fatalities from Deadly Alliance that I'd completely forgotten about. He's telling me about some random character. I think it was like I think it was Deception. It was like Meat or something, and I was like, how do you even remember that? Yeah.
Like when he goes into his tangents, like when we talk. Because I'll like share whatever like my facts or thoughts are, but it's like I'm amazed at just because it's not even about the information that he has, it's how well he retains it, because he doesn't stumble across it. Like one time he gave me this point of view, and I think I made a video about it, or maybe I hesitated to make the video because I didn't want to feel as if I was stealing his point of view. But he's the only person I ever heard say this, and so he said, NRS has unintentionally created a toxic culture within their games, because since they dramatically change the games, they create individual fan bases under one umbrella. So like, for instance, if you genuinely love Mortal Kombat X and you hate Mortal Kombat 11, naturally you've created like this civil war between us because of how adamantly we feel about this game versus that one, because you changed it so much. Same thing with MK1. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? I never thought about it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of has happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one perspective. And then the other half of it is that with you like playing it, like placing in tournaments and doing things like that, I am surprised that people would be so harsh. But I think that there's something to be said about the people within the community that have their faces out there versus the ones who don't. Because of all the communities I'm in, that's the one community where like people don't have their faces out there and they just say like crazy things. When in reality, like the average person wouldn't talk to somebody like that if we saw each other in person, even if we didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we just would. That's just because of what you said about the respect shit.
Yeah, it's the fighting game community really was like a proper tightly knit community where whatever region you were in the UK, like we had Trocadero and Good Street and Sega World and all that stuff, and everyone was really cool with each other. There were some people that didn't like each other, but it's nothing like what we experience now. People get so bent out of shape when you don't agree with like a certain take. Like I remember I was talking to some guy and I just said to him, I showed him a picture of me, Video Games Joe, and some other guys that won the national championship for Mortal Kombat 11 in the UK. And he got really angry because he was like, well, why are you ripping into it then? And I was like, bro, like I played it for a year. I won some titles. I don't like it. Like I'm not insulting your mum. Just chill out. And he just couldn't like get away from it. It was like personal attacks. And I was just like, man, I've had conversations with people like that about anime, where like you'll say something about their favorite show and they'll just lose their shit. And I'm like, I think people are online a bit too much. It's really weird. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, because I think the only label that I don't like that I've ever had is that I hate when people say you're making hate content for views. I that's like my big, because my thing is, and I've said this on the channel multiple times, and this has kind of always been my thing, right? I'd never wanted to be pigeonholed into one franchise, because like let's say that the franchise just falls off. If you're only known for that one franchise, then your channel essentially dies with said franchise, right? So my thing is, anything that I've ever said is what I genuinely feel, and I've made videos where I consciously know I'm going to sacrifice views by covering this topic because people don't really care. They're not looking at this channel for this. Like on Tekken, my channel is known for Mortal Kombat. So when I do Tekken content, some people feel the game is too complicated, so they might not check it out. But it's like, I'm not going to abandon Tekken just for Mortal Kombat views, because that's not gonna, that for one, that would burn me out. And secondly, like I'm passionate about other things besides that one franchise. But I do hate when people say, oh, you're just making hate bait. It's like, no, I'm just really saying what's on my mind. Like, I think hate bait is stupid. I think that's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
It's like they'll say that I'm being negative and that I'm being hateful. But then I'll say to them about what, and they'll just go quiet. I'm like, okay, you don't like my content, that's fine. I don't care if they don't like it. It's not, you can't make content for everyone, but I'm not lying. You just don't like what I'm saying, and you don't like it's coming from me. And that's why I focus on the community aspect of it. Like I've made a point to interact with people a lot, learn the names of, or like the gamer tags of the people that show up to my streams. And I could give you 200 names of people that I regularly interact with in my streams, where it doesn't matter what the game is, because we've got a little community. It kind of feels like we're back at the arcade. Everyone talking to each other and having a laugh, and like we're ripping each other a bit, and it's all blessed. So for me, yeah, I didn't want to pigeon myself into one game, so I made a point to like focus on what I enjoyed, which was communicating with people around the games that I enjoy.
So in the future, in the long run, like with the channel, do you want to just stick to gaming, or do you want to like branch out to anything else? Because I feel like when it comes to like workout and content and shit, people keep asking me to make other types of content as well.
I probably will never make workout content because I'm quite a private person, and there's certain things I don't like putting on camera. They asked me to vlog when I went to Japan, and I just said nah. Like this is my time with my boys. And when I'm going to the Isle of Wight, and then I was meant to be going to Morocco, but I pulled out of that trip. I'm going to Australia and that, and I'm not going to record any of it because I really do like having. I don't even take pictures. Like I like just being in the moment with my friends, or if I go to the gym with my friends, enjoying that moment, like the conversations we have. I don't want to set up a tripod and start doing workouts for the gram. So in terms of like content on my channel, I have dabbled in other things. I remember I covered the Johnny Somali stuff, and I got a decent sized Korean audience from that. Even two of the girls that watched the videos, they're two of my moderators now, and the videos did really, really well. I think because I've got Korean friends, and I've got like I've grown up watching Korean stuff. Or like when he went to Japan, obviously we've all been like, we all watch Japanese media, like we all watch anime and stuff and play their games. So I've got a deep appreciation for those people, and because I understood what was going on there, I tried to cover it as much as I could. And people were saying to me, why don't you get into this kind of content? And I was like, well, I don't know, like I just hate Johnny Somali right now. I don't particularly want to do content. And this guy, I want him out of your country. And I got messages from a lot of Korean people saying, oh, you should cover other stuff that's going on here. And I said, maybe one day I will. Right now I'm enjoying fighting games. I'm enjoying all the connections I'm making. And I'm enjoying watching these people that so badly just want to tear other people down and lose every single argument. Because I've got to say, one of the biggest joys that I've had is lifting up people that didn't have voices before and giving them a platform to speak on it, whether it's against other content creators or people that always have like really nasty things to say. So I feel like I've done a good job with that. My community feels pretty emboldened to talk back to people now, but not in an aggressive way, like respectful. Just break their points down, let them know why they're wrong, and keep it moving. So I'm enjoying doing that right now.
Yeah, I would say of anything that you mentioned in regards like that type of stuff, I think that's kind of a thing where I got caught in the middle on because like I can curse a lot when like I'm just talking in social media and shit, right? But it's
I've
like
seen it.
yeah, but it's like my environment, like as far as the people how they fuck with me, like, I'm very consistent in who I am. So the thing is like I just don't like I don't like hypocrisy and I don't like a lack of sincerity. I'm not a fan of when people try to use their platforms to bully others who are smaller. And so the tricky thing is like sometimes if somebody will antagonize me and I'll just talk in the harsh tone in which I do, they'll say that I'm doing that. And I kind of hate like the thin line between walking it because I don't ever want somebody to feel like I'm trying to bully them, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm not a pushover. Like, I'm not a victim. I'm older, so it's like I was around before all this shit was normal. So I'm just not from an era where like we talk crazy to each other. That's why I really try not to really get out of line of it with anybody, even when like fake PFPs do it to me. But I think ultimately, like, as far as where fighting games and shit are right now and going forward, like we're in a great space. So I'm just hoping that things will be doper. But I don't ever want to like make a community where it's so positive because it's fake. But I want it to be where like people feel that they can enjoy like all these new games and shit coming out because it's like this next year is going to be amazing, bro, for fighting games. This shit's going to be incredible. Marvel Tokkon, this is to me, Marvel Tokkon is my second chance at being a Dragon Ball FighterZ content creator.
Okay, yeah, I am looking forward to that. It looks really good.
That's my dream game, bro. I don't know if you've been keeping up with it. That's my dream game by far.
Have they shown anything else? Because I watched the initial trailer, but I saw the developer diary as well, but I haven't seen anything else.
I'm gonna go look into it a little bit more because I saw the initial trailer and then I heard about some of the stuff last week, but I had the flu. I was fucked up. But like I did this one video where I pretty much showed like every single animation and mechanical comparison from fighters to Tokkon. So like I'm just looking forward to that being the game of this channel in the future because Dragon Ball FighterZ is what made me want to make content when I saw it on Max's channel. Max is the first person I ever watched to learn how to play a video game, and that was Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's what made me want to make this content.
Max is probably like ground zero for me as well. I remember watching his Assist Me content for Marvel, and I remember being like, "This is so cool, man." So, yeah, Max is the GOAT. He's earned everything that he's got, and I still watch all of his stuff. He's got like massive staying power in the scene, so I have a great deal of respect for him. Although I do remember once I disagreed with one of his takes, and I wanted to do a reaction video to it. And I woke up in the morning, I was like, holy shit, man. Like, I didn't realize it was going to pick up that much, like, traction. And people are like, oh, you hate Max now? And I was like damn, man. I don't hate the man. Do we all have to kiss ass around here? I deeply respect Max. You know, what he's built off of fighting games and niche is insane because he's one of the largest content creators in the world. He's almost on 2 million. He gets like 100 to 200,000 views per video. So what he's done is incredible. But doesn't mean that, like, even with you, like, if you said something, I was like, nah, I don't really agree with that. Oh, do you hate Lou now? It's like, guys, like, what are we doing?
You know, the funny thing about you saying that is if from all the like collabs and like conversations we've had, if anybody's paid attention, a lot of us don't agree with each other about what's their favorite Mortal Kombat game. Like you hate Mortal Kombat 11. We played it and you were telling me that you hate it. I still like it. Tom loves MKX. I might go back and check that out. Just like Sikander hates MK11. Like he said he only played it because I asked him to. Like, so it's kind of funny because they would be like, well, do you guys hate when people have different opinions? But it's like we all kind of got a different opinion with each other and we like do videos together all the time. So, but I was just curious about that shit.
Yeah, I get baffled at how people like process things, and I like talk like it's cool when you have a friend and it's like, oh, your favorite is Mortal Kombat 11, my favorite is Deadly Alliance, and we compare and we talk about why this one is superior, that one is superior, and you just laugh about it and you keep it moving. Like the whole thing is supposed to be fun, but like even with Tekken, I was saying that, you know, I'm not really impressed with Tekken 8 right now, and I said, oh, my favorite is Tekken Tag 2. Then I saw this, I think it was a girl, she was like, oh, this idiot, he's putting Tekken 8 down, but he likes Tag 2. What a bozo. I was like,
damn, harsh language, bro.
I was like, damn, yeah, like for real, like they're really striking a nerve because I said I don't like something in the game.
Man, people, I think what it is, and I'll just take this like with a grain of salt. It's like one of the last things to wrap it up. I think what it is kind of like how you feel about Johnny Somali. You kind of hate disingenuous creators. I think people are just jaded because there's so much of that going on for like clickbait and views. So when you kind of say something that people don't agree with, they don't even assume that you might really feel that way. They just think that you're trying to like get views, because that's kind of what's happening out here when you just do wild shit. And I hate that shit too.
The thing is that like they always say, "Oh, you're doing stuff for views," and I'm like, well, I do want people to watch my videos. It's kind of why we make them. I don't make my videos so nobody watches them, but they will say that I'm doing stuff for views, but they won't say that I'm lying. And I'm like, if you can tell me where I'm lying about this situation, then fine. But yes, obviously YouTube content creators make videos so they can be watched. I think it would be weird if people were making videos to not be watched. But I don't make a video because like I don't believe what I'm saying. There's loads of things where I've not covered it because I'm just like, I don't have much to say here, or I don't really have a position on it, like a strong, solid position to speak about it, or I just don't care. Like that, people are saying to me, I'll make the Dr. Doom video for the guy that threw the tissue paper at the Tekken event.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and I was like, why? Like he threw tissue paper, he got banned.
Yeah,
there's nothing for me to talk about. But with the Skylar Reborn thing, I was like, oh, there's a couple of things you can talk about here. We can talk about the old FGC. We can talk about how people react to things now versus then. And it's like people were saying to me, "Oh, you're a simp. You're just attracted to Skylar." And I was like,
yeah,
I didn't even mention her looks. All of you lot keep on mentioning her looks. I literally spoke about her talking trash, and you guys have all made this weird. So I don't know. It's again like, even though there's a decent number of people that do say those things, there's way more people with common sense that listen to what is being said in the videos, and maybe they disagree, but we have a civilized conversation about it. It's not, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. I'm just like, man,
or the when something gets updated and they change it around and then you say something positive, oh, now you want to come back and like suck dick for this. It's like, what do you want me to say? Like, I can't dislike it and I can't like it when it changes. What do you want from me, bro? Like, oh, now you want to come back to Mortal Kombat 1 that it's better. Well, yes, it's better. That was the point of the initial video.
Bro, those people, that mindset, I'm just like, first of all, I am coming back, whether you like it or not. So you can hold that shit. Secondly, it's a game, bro. The reason that updates come out is to alter the game. So maybe they've altered it in a way that I like. Well, that shouldn't be rocket science. But some of these people, like, I saw this guy the other day. He wasn't being malicious to me, but he said, "Oh, like I don't want to see none of you Bleach guys coming over when Demon Slayer comes out. You've been slandering the game." I was like, bro, is CC2 paying you a check to say that? You should want more people to come over and play Demon Slayer so we can run big tournaments. And then someone said to me, "Oh, you're gonna rip into this game as well, Mike?" And I was like, maybe. If it sucks, maybe. If it doesn't suck, then I won't. I mean, I haven't been ripping into Bleach, even though I can see the problems with it. There's definitely like balancing issues with the game. I enjoy it, and I don't feel like making any content about it. But if I feel like saying something, I'm gonna say it. There's no amount of voices in the FGC that can deter me from speaking about what I want to speak about. And they will say to me, "Oh, you don't come to events." I do come to events. I don't go to every event because I work 2 jobs. I've got other things to do. I can't be doing those things all the time. So yeah, my final message to, if you want to wrap this up, my final message to these people that have so much to say is that they can stick to drowning in pools every event or barely making top 96, and we can stick to yapping on YouTube. Because there's clearly not any crossover here. I'm not interested in going to their tournaments. I go to the ones that my friends run, and they can't string together sentences, so they can keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing that they would come to find, and I'm sure that you may have found this as well as a content creator, is it's usually the video that you don't expect to take off. That's the one that always does it. Like when you think that you got a banger, it's like, oh, this one is gonna hit. You wake up and that shit got like 200 views. Then you just say some shit that you ain't thinking twice about. It's just like a opinion that's cool. You wake up 10,000 views. It's like, what the fuck? So it's like, that's kind of how the internet works in a nutshell. For real.
Yeah, I don't ever have videos where I'm like, I think this is going to bang, because I just sort of turn the camera on and talk about a situation, and I never know if people are interested or not. So because I focus more on the community aspect of it, I never know what people are going to be interested in. I just put out what I'm interested in talking about. But I will say that's true for when I first started. When I made that Mortal Kombat video that got like 200,000 views, I was like, I didn't expect that, because there was no planning that went into that video. I turned it on, I turned the camera on, I just started ripping into MK1 and all of its issues. Then I woke up in the morning, it was on like 100K, and I was like, I was like stuttering over myself in the video. I was like barely awake. Why did people watch this one?
I think sometimes I'll be having a gut feeling, but it's more like I got this thing where there has to be a negative element. That's why whenever I'm crashing out in the video, even like for instance, I did a video not too long ago on Facebook. It was like a short clip, but basically I was playing this Harang player and he was just mashing his face off. And it got to the point where he was mashing so much, I just stopped swinging for 12 seconds just to see if he would do something different. He was like flamingo stance, punch, kick, punch, kick. This lasted for like 12 seconds. And because I was like, just look at this, look at this, look at this. And at the end of it, I launched him to show I could have stopped it whenever I wanted to. And people were like, oh, you're so dumb. You're crying. You could have stepped. And it's like, did you not notice that I launched him at the end of the video? I was trying to make a point just to say that he's smashing his face into the controller. And I kind of knew that one would take off, but it's like, it really is unpredictable. And I wish that people knew that, but that's what when I saw that comment in your recent tweet, that's what made me say, hey, Mike, I'm seeing you starting to get these comments where it's like, it's just fuck Mike because it's Mike. It's not even about what you said.
Yeah, it's fine. They could say fuck Mike. I'll say fuck you back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make a video about it and we'll just sit there and laugh at you. The thing they don't seem to understand is that there are people that invest their whole lives into the FGC, and I have respect for some of those people in their craft and what they're doing. But they seem to be under the impression that if I get like ostracized by everybody in the FGC, that I'm going to lose all my friends or lose all my income. And I've said to them 100 times, the reason that I feel confident and the reason I speak genuinely is because there's nothing that they can do to take away my finances. Where I make my money from, they have no idea. They don't know anything about me. And even if they did do something illegal, I'm still okay because I've taken certain measures in life. And when it comes to my channel, I've made it about the people. Like I've made those connections with those people, and that's what I'm going to continue focusing on. And we are drawing in more people, and a lot more girls are coming to my stream, which is really nice because I've observed how girls get treated in the FGC. And although there's a lot of nice people, there's a lot of dickheads as well. And more recently, I've been like getting like people saying to me, "Oh, you're a gooner, Mike, or you're a simp," because I've got an equal spread of female and male moderators. I've got about 8 female and about 9 male, and people will be like, "Why?" Like sometimes we'll be in the stream and there'll just be the female moderators active, and they'll be like, "Why is all the female moderators in here, Mike? What's going on?" Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, you can't win with anyone because one day I'm a misogynist. Today I'm a simp. 1 minute I'm woke. Now I'm a Nazi. It's like, bro, can we pick a lane?
Yeah, I've been all of them. When I did the first interview with Sikander, I got like a bunch of labels and stuff. So it's just like it just is what it is. But it does make me laugh. But I think like that shit is like all deflection and like buzzwords and shit that don't work anymore. Like that time is just gone. I think people are paying more attention to what individual people are saying, and then the people who just hate you, they just hate you because it's you. Because I have like haters that have shown up for like months in a row, and I'm just like, if you don't like me, why not just block me? You know what I'm saying? But I kind of keep them on because you just need that negative element for shit to grow.
Yeah, I interact with them. Like some of them amuse me, and then I like demonstrate to my community like this. Don't behave like this person. There's no need to be like this. We're talking about games. I'm not hating on you. Yeah, but I'm not surprised because you've got someone like Technicals who exposes pedos and he still gets hate. And you would think to yourself, how are you hating on somebody that's exposing something so dark? We should all be clapping and championing this guy, and he still gets hate. And they'll always lean on something that is inconsequential and no one cares about because they have nowhere else to go. So I knew that if they could hate somebody for doing something as like noble as investigating a scene that is rife with people doing those things, of course they're gonna hate me for something like this. So I just say, oh, whatever, man. Like I made friends with you. I made friends with Sikander. I've made friends. I focus on those people. I don't care about some rent a girlfriend anime profile picture that has something negative to say.
Yeah, I definitely just fuck with the people that I have like regular. Like the thing that I enjoy the most is like all the conversations I have with everybody that's organic. It's never been anybody where I've reached out to them because it was like advantageous for me. Maybe it might have been like a good look, but like for the most part, I don't really like do content with people who I don't think are like decent people. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense to not do so. Like I remember seeing some like not too long ago, somebody like challenged again. It's like a money match. I forgot the person's name, but they challenged him to a money match. They called him out about some clip that they had on him. I guess they beat him like Combat League. He challenged them to a money match. he won the money match, and they was like, well, I'm not gonna pay him because he's a racist, sexist. And it's like, hold on, fam. You can't just not like what? Like, what are we, dog? You sound like a bitch. You gotta pay the money. You lost. Just stick to the game. But it just is what it is when you got an audience. So I just wondered if you felt the same, because when you have an audience, it's like, yeah, the bigger it gets, those people just come up, and I think that they think it's because it's easy to have an audience. It's like a cope or something like that for them. That's what I think it is.
They don't. It's the thing is, like I said, I'm open to criticism, and I have no issue with people disliking me. But what I'm finding now is, as the channel's growing and growing, and their attempts at slandering me are not working, they're just outright lying now about random shit. And I'm reading it, and I'm like, I was reading something just now while I was playing Bleach, and I was like, I never said that. Yeah, and the guy was adamant that I said it, and I said, I was reading, and I said to my friend, where did I say that? And he was like, you didn't say that. He's saying it because it's going to pick up traction, and people are going to think that you said that. And I just said, all right, whatever, man. Like, if there are people that believe what he says without fact checking it, it kind of does my job for me, because now I don't have to interact with those people.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it's promotion. Like that's the reality of it. Like, it's promotion. Even if it's not the promotion you would like per se, it is. I hate to saying all publicity is good publicity. I don't think that that's true, but at the same time, like, you kind of signed up for some of this shit when you put your face on the camera. It just is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. And they always say they hate drama tubers, but they never say they hate the people creating the drama. So it was like, maybe, drama tubers wouldn't exist if you weren't always doing things that would draw the attention of people that cover these things. Why don't you stop doing the stupid shit, and then we don't have to talk about the stupid shit that you're doing.
Well, the stupid shit is never going to stop. So the videos are always going to be able to come out. That's the truth of it, bro.
Yeah. The thing is, when there's nothing going on, I'm just, not recently because I didn't want to play season 2, but I'm just streaming Bleach, or I'll stream Tekken, or when we get a new MK game, I'll sit with the community and stream it. But if there's something that I feel strongly about, then I'll speak about it. And if they don't like it, then they can just go to a tournament and behave themselves, or like not randomly attack people online, and then they won't end up in a video. That'll be the end of it.
Speaking of that, as you mentioned that before we get up out of here, was you mentioned like MK. So obviously you saw like the Legacy Collection thing. Like, I know you've covered that. I've covered that too. Do you think that they're buying time to make a better MK to kind of like say sorry to the fans, or do you think they're pivoting? Because so anybody who has the idea that Injustice 3 could be the next game up, I think based on the announcement of Marvel Tokkon, you don't want to make Injustice 3, because if you're going to have a hero fighter out there, that game, unless they drop a fucking bomb, that game's going to be the #1 hero fighting game. So Injustice will get just buried. I think it's enough time for them to kind of get shit right and make a Mortal Kombat announcement next year and make a great Mortal Kombat game the following year. What you think?
I think that they realized that they really messed up with these the last game, and you can't go wrong with games that have already been positively received. So why not package them into one big disc? And I think that was the right move, because we need a break from modern Mortal Kombat. I noticed that they've done some reshuffling, and somebody has been appointed to the head of like Mortal Kombat Creative and DC Comics as well. And I saw him, and I was like, it had Shaolin monks behind him, and I was like, maybe this is a step in the right direction. Maybe they're going to go for a different tone. Maybe they're going to abandon the whole MK1 story and go back to what they were doing before. I think that you're right. Bringing out an Injustice game now with Marvel on the horizon is not a good idea. I don't think that they'll be able to rival what they're going to do with that game. Marvel's just firing on all cylinders these days. I know their films have not been great, but they seem to be getting things back in order, with like Thunderbolts doing well. I think that they need to let modern Mortal Kombat chill and give it about 2 to 3 years and really think about the direction they want to go in, and gauge the reception of the collector's edition or the Legacy Collection, to see which game in there is being played the most. I don't know what games they're going to put in there, like the mystery games. Everyone's hoping it's like MK9. But yeah, I think they're making the right move right now. Having Tobias come back as well. I'm assuming he's come back. I don't think he was just in the trailer for no reason. Yeah. I think there's hope for Mortal Kombat, and I really hope that they do make a good Mortal Kombat game, because I have 3 Mortal Kombat games in a row that I'm pissed off at. I don't even have energy for that. I don't know if I even want to cover another Mortal Kombat game that just fumbles. I'd rather have a Mortal Kombat game that we could all enjoy.
Yeah, I think analogy-wise, when you hit quote-unquote rock bottom, I mean, granted they made their money because of 4 million copies, but I think when you hit rock bottom, you have nowhere to go but up. I just got a feeling they're finna come back and crush it, bro. I have. It's weird because I'm known as like a Mortal Kombat hater, which I'm not. It's just this one game I'm not fond of, and I struggle to play it at times. But I mean, I think they're about to kill it. I think the next Mortal Kombat game is going to be their best game ever because they don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, you're right. I do want to say that, you know, when people call you a Mortal Kombat hater, I've started asking people these questions now, and they'll call me a Mortal Kombat hater, and I'll say to them, "What do you think of Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon?" And they'll say they're shit, they're rubbish games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go to them, "So are you a Mortal Kombat hater?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, what's your favorite Mortal Kombat games?" And he was like, "The NRS era." And I'm like, "Okay, do you like the arcade era?" He was like, "No." And I was like, "So you're a Mortal Kombat hater then?" And I'm looking at them like, "Do you see what the problem is here?"
Yeah.
I like 10 of the games. I don't like 2 of them. How am I a hater? And so I'm getting that less and less now, because every time someone does it, I'm just like, you're talking shit because you don't like every single game in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a game in that franchise that you don't like. And if they went back to the 3D era, I've seen a lot of people in my comment section saying, "No, we don't want that, blah, blah, blah." So if they release a 3D game, are you suddenly a Mortal Kombat hater? No, you just don't like this version of Mortal Kombat.
And the funny thing, to be honest, I don't dislike Mortal Kombat 1. I dislike that Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat, which is actually more of showing you that my relationship with the franchise is a positive one. And that's my gripe with this particular game, because they went too far away from what they do. Like, if Mortal Kombat 1 was just Fighters Combat 1 that we never heard of, I would like it. I probably wouldn't like it as much, wouldn't pay as much attention to it, but it's like, I don't really dislike the game. I dislike the game for a Mortal Kombat game. That's what I mean by it. So
yeah, it doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat to me. It felt like it was trying to do something that it had no business doing, and I don't like how it feels regardless. But I love the Mortal Kombat franchise, man. I've loved it since I was a kid. I've still got Conquest, and I've still got Defenders of the Realm and all the graphic novels and the comics. So I want it to do well. I'm not here thinking to myself, "Oh man, I hope it fails so I can make a bunch of negative content." These are like our favorite games that we grew up playing. Nobody wants that. And there's plenty of games that I play now, like fighting games, that I really enjoy. That I could make content on it because there's problems, but I'm like, there's more positive than there are negatives. But right now, there's more negatives than there are positives with like Tekken and Mortal Kombat.
the funny thing about you saying is, I don't think I've asked you about this, or maybe I just don't remember. How did you feel about the first Mortal Kombat movie? Because the new one is getting positive reviews from insiders. So how did you feel about the first one? I liked it.
Are you talking about the original one that came out in the 90s?
No, the recent one from like a few years ago, like the new era of the Mortal Kombat films. How did you feel about that?
I absolutely hated it.
What you hate about it?
I like the casting for Scorpion Sub-Zero because I think those actors are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think the opening to it is great. To me, it was like they're setting the tone here. This is really, really good. And then the tone just took a complete shift. The main character in that movie didn't need to be there.
Yeah, Cole Young, yeah.
Why is Cole here? No one knows who he is. No one cares. There's no like emotional attachment. He wasn't a particularly interesting character that you could be like, oh, you know, they made a really cool character in the movie. Maybe he'll show up in the games. Nobody cares about Cole. And then they did this whole thing where you had to be born with the dragon tattoo to be one of Earth's chosen ones. I was like, why? It's such an
stick to the source
thing.
material is what you're saying, pretty much. Stick to the source material.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't mind when things deviate from the source material because I've seen movies that have adapted comics or animes, and they've kind of done their own thing, and it's actually been good. It's a gamble when you do that, and I advise against it, but sometimes it pays off. But in Mortal Kombat's case, they'd already been taking gambles so many times. It was like, just do what people like. It's really not that difficult. The casting for some characters I thought was pretty good. I thought Shang Tsung's casting was pretty good, but the pace of the film was all over the place. There was no emotional attachments to any of the characters. Some characters were behaving in such stupid ways. When Jax followed Sub-Zero into the warehouse, I was like, bro, what are you doing? He's going to murder you. It was nonsensical. And then at the end, they kind of made Scorpion look like a little bit of a bitch because he needed the assistance of Cole to double team Sub-Zero. And I was like, this is a Scorpion Sub-Zero rivalry, man. Scorpion don't need nobody there to help him. So I don't know, like the entire film, it didn't feel like Mortal Kombat to me. It felt like it was trying to be Mortal Kombat and it was missing the mark almost every time.
See, I think what happens with these films when it comes to that is like, because it's a movie and because it's a popular cultural impact name, they want to hit as many ticket sales as possible, which makes logical sense, right? But the problem is, when you try to broaden the story by introducing somebody like Cole Young and kind of writing these parts that don't make sense, it goes away from what people love about Mortal Kombat. But I'm hoping in the new one, and what seems to be rumored, is focus on the tournament. It was always about the tournament, because if you focus on the tournament, even if it's in spots and pieces, you can introduce as many characters as possible by showing as many fights as possible. What I hate is when like you're quote unquote on Shang's Island for the tournament, but then random characters are having random fights that aren't inside of the tournament. I know you don't want to make the whole movie based around just tournament fights, but that kind of is the story of Mortal Kombat. Like the Earth Realm is supposed to win the tournament in order to protect Earth Realm, like the Earth's champions. So they should focus on that, and that gives you a chance to introduce a lot of characters. I think the only storyline that I really can genuinely remember from outside of the tournament was Sonya was always chasing after Kano. That was like the one thing that was like really wasn't tournament related. Other than that, like just focus on the fucking tournament and just introduce like 25 characters.
Yeah, you've got enough source material to work with. I hope the new film is good. You know, I'm not going in there. I'm not paying for a cinema ticket to hate watch it. Like I want to enjoy Mortal Kombat. I want to sit there with my friends and go, "That was sick, man." I want to go back and see that, or I want to buy that on Blu-ray or whatever. Because when I watched the original Mortal Kombat film, it's amazing. It's timeless. I know it's cheesy, but I feel like they nailed the tone of Mortal Kombat. And even Mortal Kombat, is it called Annihilation?
Yeah, that's true.
I know it's noticeably bad in some areas, but it feels like Mortal Kombat. It's got that 90s cheese that like you can appreciate. But the new film felt soulless, like they were trying to be Mortal Kombat, but they were missing the mark. Like the director didn't understand what Mortal Kombat really was. So if the new one is being positively received, good. I really hope that it is, but I'm not gonna watch it and then be like, oh, if I post something that's negative, the mob's gonna come after me. Sorry, like if I don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't hate the newest one, but I'm hoping that this one is good. But even like when you mentioned Annihilation, the reason Annihilation felt like Mortal Kombat, even though it was cheesy as fuck, is because you just saw a bunch of the characters. Like even looking like the old film stuff, the costumes weren't that great, but it was just like, oh, there's Rain, there's Ermac, there's you know what I'm saying? Like that's what made it fun, just seeing all the characters. Because when you look back at, was it Motaro? Motaro? Yeah. That skin was fucking ugly, but you knew it was Motaro, and that's what was cool about it. So
I remember like that. I remember watching it, and I remember Cyrax showing up in that laboratory when Sonya and Jax were in there, and then that banger soundtrack came on. And I was just like, even if the fight is lame, it was a decent fight. The music is incredible. Like they understand what is going to get people into and being invested in it. And even some of the one-liners in the film, like when Sindel was like, "You die," I was cracking up because it's that old school Mortal Kombat cheese. It's not the best acting in the world. It clearly doesn't have the best CGI, but that's Mortal Kombat. That's what I want from the new film. I don't need them to make this like, Inception level, like super high quality film. I need it to be Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a cheesy 90s story about martial artists on an island, like Enter the Dragon. That's all I'm looking for.
Your soul is mine.
Yeah, that was the perfect way to open the film.
Keep that shit back for sure. And that skin was the shit in Mortal Kombat 11 because of the cultural reference of the movie. That skin was the shit for Shang Tsung. Yeah, he was cool as fuck.
That is a memorable. Like if you type in "Your Soul Is Mine," the first gift that comes up is that film.
Hell yeah!
And I remember watching it, and when it zooms into his face and it like turns into a monster when he's about to like take your soul. I remember being instantly captured and being like, "Wow, I want to watch this." Even my mum saw it; she was like, "Oh, I want to watch this," and she ended up watching the whole thing. And she was like, "Yeah, it was a bit like lame or whatever, but it was fun. It was a good fun film." And I remember you get to the last fight. And then the banger soundtrack comes on, the Mortal Kombat theme, and the choreography was decent. There was a good payoff at the end, and then it ended with a cliffhanger. And I was like, "This is a good film. Yeah, this is actually a good film." The new film didn't do that.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I think some part of that shit is like us watching it as kids too. You know what I'm saying? But I really hope that this next one hits because I just want Mortal Kombat to be. I want it to be Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter culturally. And then I want Marvel Tokkon to be up on that level. I know it's like a standalone game, but to me, this is essentially Dragon Ball FighterZ 2.0. Obviously, Arc Systems made it, so it's like I want those 4 games to be at the top.
Yeah,
I'm not into Invincible too much, so I don't know enough about that universe to like get into that game. I'm just happy for Rip because he's a part of that team.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Rip's doing something else because I felt bad watching what the Tekken World Tour happened to him. I'm not too interested in the game, even though I love the Invincible cartoon. I think it's amazing. I'm more interested in Virtua Fighter. I really am excited to see where Virtua Fighter goes because there's heavy emphasis on like grounded martial arts, which is what we've been bitching about in Tekken. And if that game is going to provide that, then that's where I'm going to be spending most of my time. So far, from what I've seen, I'm quite pleased. When I saw Wolf, I was like, okay, that's a good redesign. They gave him a bunch of backstory in 30 seconds that we never even knew about before. So they've already like checked off those boxes, and it's RGG as well. They're my favorite studio because they produce Yakuza. So I've got full faith that they're going to do a good job with Virtua Fighter.
I hope based on that CGI clip that we saw that the gameplay is in that. Like that, the only thing that I'm kind of frustrated with is like just where's, you know, like what's the foundation of what we've seen? Because that CGI clip, I think that it's Akira, and I don't know who the mystery warrior is that he's fighting. I think they reveal who that is. Do you know?
It's double Akira's.
Oh, double Akira. Okay, because I don't remember seeing like the health bar shit, but like it looks really good. But I'm hoping if the game can just mirror that to some extent, they'll have a banger. And then kind of what you said about Tekken, because they're such different games, it'll satisfy the people who want the over-the-top stuff versus like real grounded hand-to-hand fighting, like this human fighting. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I would be into that too if it comes out like that and looks that good.
Yeah, the Tekken's obviously gone down like the more anime road. They're like the characters are more like shonen characters now. So if they can create a grounded, realistic experience, and because I know Virtua Fighter loves to innovate. Their whole thing is innovation, so I'm excited to see what they do. And they've got so many things that they can do with the game. You can even have Kiryu in there as a guest character, which would be like a slam dunk for them. They own the rights to the character. So I'm very excited for that. I hope they don't drop the ball, but I've never played a Virtua Fighter game that was bad. All of them are good. The latest one is great. I remember playing Virtua Fighter 4 in the arcades. It was great. I played Virtua Fighter 3 a bit, but when I went back and played it recently, I was like, this is still a good fighting game. So I have full faith that they're going to do the right thing with Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, I haven't played it since I had Virtua Fighter 2 on Sega Saturn, and then I think I bought 4 or 5 on PS4, but I only played it for like 45 minutes. I just didn't give it like a lot of time. But that CGI looks that shit is beautiful. That shit really looks beautiful. I just hope that the game plays in that ballpark.
Yeah, if it plays even like halfway close to that, I'll be happy because I know that CGI they took, it was ripped from Benny the Jet versus Jackie Chan. When I saw it, I was like, I've seen this fight somewhere before, and I went and looked it up, and it's from a film called Dragons Forever. So if they're going for that vibe, like the 80s/90s martial arts films that were like heavily that had a lot of choreography, like Wheels on Mills, I'm gonna be all into that because those are my favorite films growing up. I just hope that we don't start seeing plasma swords and rocket launchers and guns. I'm just gonna be like, oh, come on,
you're not gonna see that. I mean, that they don't got a history. That would be crazy. That would just be so left field. I think you're gonna just see legit optimized Virtua Fighter based on that clip.
I hope so. I've got high hopes for it. But I'm quite happy with fighting games right now. I know Tekken and Mortal Kombat have been disappointed, but Street Fighter 6 is a lot of fun. I played Bleach. Demon Slayer's out in about a month. We've got Marvel coming out. I'm sure that NRS are going to announce something at some point. And Fakaram is around the corner with a big balance update, so maybe it'll draw me back into the game. So we'll see.
Mortal Kombat 12, bro. It's got to be Mortal Kombat 12. That's the announcement I want. Mortal Kombat 12. Back to the previous character histories and all that. If we get that shit, I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied.
I think that they should go with naming conventions now. I think they should stop the numbers because I think after a point when you start saying this is the 12th game, like if you call it Mortal Kombat 12, I think there's a little bit of like, oh, there's 12 games before it. Do I want to jump in now? Like some people think like that. Whereas like Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, it's just that. And we'll be able to follow along because we know that Deadly Alliance came first and then Deception. I think now because they fumbled with MK1, going back and making MK12 is a bit like, it makes sense to us, but it's a little bit confusing, I think, for newcomers. So I think they should name it something.
It might just be time for just Mortal Kombat. I don't know what the sub name could be if it's based on a storyline. Like, it might just be time for just Mortal Kombat. Just like, get the shit back to. I think as long as the gameplay and the core characters are who they're supposed to be, it'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's
the most important thing.
Yeah. But shit, I don't want to hold you up too much longer, bro. Like we went on this shit way longer than what we said we was gonna do initially. But no, it was a great ass talk for sure. Like I'm looking forward to the games that's coming out, and we definitely gonna have to talk about some of that shit as they drop for sure.
100%, man. I appreciate you having me on.
For sure, bro. Enjoy it. You said you're going out of town this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to the Isle of Wight, and I was meant to be going to Morocco. Don't think that's happening anymore. But yeah, I've got a busy couple of weeks ahead of me, so I'm gonna try and I might have to do videos on my phone. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to a computer, so you might just see some cruddy looking quality for the next couple of days. But yeah, it's summertime now, man. I might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, for damn sure. For damn sure, for damn sure. I think sitting in the house with the being in the sling for like a month, it's made me want to just get out and do more outside of just making more content. Like that's why I'm doing 2 days in the gym, but I'm also making more time to travel and shit like that. Because when you just sit in the house and can't turn the doorknob, that shit fucking sucks.
Yeah,
like
you gotta enjoy your freedom while you can, man. This shit's going crazy around the world right now, so
I know.
Yeah.
But for sure, bro, I'm gonna get up with you again soon, brother. Have safe travels.
All right, bro. I'll catch you in a bit.
Peace.